Okay, welcome everyone. It is June 9th, 2025, and we are playing Legend in the Mist tonight. We're back from last week's adventure, and our recap tonight is going to be done by Mark. Go for it.
All right. Okay. So we started off our adventure that day running into a merchant, and a great deal of the session was actually spent with the merchant, haggling and trying to go over his wares and see what we could trade for. And I believe each of us came out of that encounter with something either based on a story or on a particular. I think we all did stories except for Ashrin, who traded something? A map,
Yeah.
if memory doesn't fail me.
Yep. A
And
map
I got
or
a
a ring.
knotted rope or something to that effect. And I'm trying to remember what Chewbacca got for his
I got
story.
a pewter bell.
A pewter bell. Yes. And it was a lot of going back and forth, and it was very cool. We had our suspicions as to what it was or who he was. He didn't come off as like a regular merchant. We may not necessarily know that answer until later on. But from there, we progressed. The stories were very interesting. Um, upon discussions with the merchant, Chewbacca had revealed a little bit of his background, actually a lot of his background, and why he had his face covered and how he came to be in the position he's in. I traded a story about my initial encounters with the miasma and how it's scarred me physically and actually, yeah, physically, physically, and I guess to some degree, emotionally. And from there, we continued into what would be the evening, where we talked a little more, and Chewbacca got to unburden himself a little bit more. And as a team, we spoke about our pasts and kind of just revealed more of who we are.
It's like a
And that was kind of it.
massive therapy session. Not
Oh, yeah.
kidding. All right, I'm going to invite our archivist in, Archie. And here we go. Okay, so tonight we will continue. Wait, an error occurred. Don't do that. Archie's being grumpy, maybe. Oh. Error. Errors abound. I'm going to give it one more try and then I'm just going to record.
I mean, this is not in any way insulting, but I do want to confirm you're outside of your trial period and you renewed.
I don't know. How am I supposed to know that? Do I have a trial period?
It might
You
give you some
do.
errors.
It was free. And I actually had a notification telling me that mine ended 2 days ago. So within the profile, I looked at it and it disables it if it doesn't have you renew it.
I
Of course,
see.
at cost.
No, hey, certainly could be. Let's see. Let's see. That's why you
And that's why
asked
I
if I
felt a
was
little sheepish. I
continuing it.
was like, oh man, that's like saying, do you have it plugged in? But let me just ask.
No.
This is tech support. Hi, did you renew your subscription?
Yeah, no, I just actually didn't renew, but I certainly did a thing.
Because I knew you started before I started dabbling with it. That's the reason I'm asking.
No, I just did a session a few days ago. So, okay. Well, let's see. Probably under account settings. How about look there, the status. Not only am I due, I am past due. So let me see.
Well, then I'm glad I asked.
Yeah. Oh, good call. But
Hey, us IT guys have a brain, right?
Half of
right.
one.
All right. So now I've got a little delay here because once again, guess what I have to do? I have to check my email for a code. Does anyone
See,
know how
there
I
you go.
feel
You
about
jinxed
having to
yourself.
do that?
You jinxed yourself. You mentioned that email, and all of a sudden, that's the only way you're operating
Yeah.
tonight.
Good grief. Or do I have to create a different account? Like I already have a Stripe account. I thought maybe I would use it. But because they're using Stripe. Manage subscription. All right, let's put this one in. No doubt I will have to check my email for that one too. I do. Big surprise. All right. Oh, I got a login to the customer portal link. It's not a code, it's a link, and it works.
I mean, the cool thing about Archivist is that they do give you a trial period, so you guys can like muck around with it.
No, that's
And
like the
they are
first one's always free. That's
right,
bad.
and they are enhancing it, as you mentioned. So I'm curious as to where it's gonna, plateau and become business as usual. But
The
for now,
question
it works.
is it that is it that good? You look at the price and you go, but is it that
I
good?
agree. Is it a sustainable
It's
model? I'm curious
good,
about that one.
but is it that good? And so we're going to record the session tonight so I can just upload it to ChatGPT. All right, no problem. Let me see if ChatGPT can, which isn't as tooled, right? It's not quite there, but it's pretty good. But you can't ask it questions. So, okay. So let me just quickly go over here. Sorry, studio audience. We're holding up all the laugh cards for you so you can chuckle.
Never film kids or animals or live RPG groups.
Exactly. You never know. You just never know. All right. So here we go. Interesting. All right. So we left off camping somewhere safe away from the opening to the mine, if I recall. All right. So after we close up camp, have you written a relationship tag for somebody you don't have one with yet?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right. So you reach the mouth of the mine and peek in and begin to enter. As you descend into the downward sloping tunnel into the mine,
Lighting
the
torches, of course, and making our way that way, so we're
there you
not going
go.
pitch
Mage,
black.
Torches,
mage fire.
mage fire, and torches lit.
If the mage fire will do, I'll reserve the torches for a length of time. If that's
Then
enough.
up,
Does the mage
yeah,
fire do 30 feet of light or what are
sure,
the
that's
dimensions?
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna make my tag with Maya. That way I can do anything I want and she won't be able to refute me.
Exactly. So you head down into the mine, but as you do, the air thickens, not just with dust and particles of dirt and whatever, but with something living. 100 paces in or so, your torchlight, if you have a torch, begins to flicker. The mage light, you sense an oppression upon it that maybe causes it to even magic flame to dim just slightly. You also notice there are stone walls that have a dampness about them, and they are now webbed with fine hair-like tendrils. The floor dips slightly. And then ahead, the tunnel narrows into a throat-like passage, entirely sealed by a curtain of vines. Oh, and I forgot to do something.
Are
Cool
these
picture.
vines like moving or anything like ones we've seen before?
Activate.
Are they black?
Wonder Twin Powers activate. So let me put you guys down here. Ashwin, Chewbacca, Maya, Marshall Jared, and Toma. Toma stops dead in his tracks. These vines aren't just hanging from above. They grow out of the stone itself, curling from cracks in the floor and the ceiling. Their bark pale and veined. Some pulse faintly in time with a slow rhythmic breath you can't hear, you only feel. As your light grazes them, the vines shiver slightly, receding no more than a finger's breadth. But as soon as the light dims, they lean forward again, as if curious, hungry. Then crunch. The sound of a boot pressing too hard onto one of the floor vines. It twitches sharply, and then in an instant, the entire wall of vines quiver. Tension hums in the air like a taut bowstring. From somewhere deeper within, you hear a low groan of shifting roots. These vines do not attack, not yet, but they know you're here now. This is no simple overgrowth. This is a gate, and whatever it guards beyond is beginning to stir. Toma.
Vines, it had to be vines.
Right. Toma whispers in hushed tones from behind you. He's stopped at least 20 feet back.
If I get too close, they might recognize me.
Good thinking.
I will just be Toma for now.
Okay. And I make sure that I keep Toma close to me, behind me, basically. I look at Ashran. I go, Ashran, how likely do you think it is that you could change that mage fire to sunlight?
She says, I can do something like it. So, we'll see. She doesn't sound very confident, but
I
she
look at
will
her and I
give her
say, I
best
know you
try.
can do this. You can do this. That's all I can ask.
Ashran will walk up to the wall of vines, or the curtain of vines. She will attempt casting the spell she developed in her head just last night. This will be kind of her first time, actually trying to cast it.
The spell of binding starlight.
Blinding starlight.
Oh, okay. Thought it was going to be like an entangle competition.
Nah.
Okay. So you've got attention to detail, novice astromancer, star metal tip staff, mage fire master, spell of blinding starlight, and requires concentration as a weakness. All right, that looks good to me. Those all seem to be directly applicable.
So can you remind me on the sidebar?
Yep. How do you roll?
Yeah, and which would be appropriate?
So that would be detailed attack, and that will help generate the hopefully correct amount of power that you can use. Okay, so you have 4 power to spend. So you can choose like a disrupt.
Yeah.
Or a weaken. Or even if you want to like burn, you can probably burn them and do harm.
Yeah, considering we know that the vines are weak to sunlight and they actually like wither in it. I think I'll do an attack with like a status of withered.
Okay, so you're going to do 4 tier of withered. Nice. The vines begin to screech like the light was so bright. You know, like if you've ever had really bright light in your eyes, it gets to be painful. And so imagine that these vines have experienced some amount of pain in their withering, and they begin to make a very strange, super kind of high pitch, sort of screeching sound. And so Toma runs up and he says,
I may be able to numb these vines so that their senses do not alert the witherbind. Would you like me to do that, or do you have something else in mind?
That sounds like a good plan.
was hoping you'd say that. Toma steps forward and kind of kneels down so he can touch the vines that are on the ground and some that have not withered so much along the sidewall. And the screeching sound kind of fades away to nearly nothing, and then it seems to be imperceptible at that point. He turns and says,
I do not know how long we have. We should hurry.
I don't think you have to tell us twice. We start moving.
all right, you kind of brush some of the vines. The withered vines are now more like just hippie beads covering the area itself, and you begin to head down some other passages. You notice that there are vines that have overgrown other offshoots as you reach kind of an intersection of sorts. You notice that there are some tunnels that have another kind of vine gate on them, and so you can choose to like try to go through one of those, or you can take the path of lesser resistance. What do you think? What do you do?
Is this one of those months where we can have Maya roll for us if we use her tags and stuff?
Sure. Yeah.
Guys, you agree? Think this makes sense?
Yes.
I mean, if you want, Ashern can just try to follow the heart of the stars to find the right path.
I'm open to that. Definitely.
No, let's let Maya do her thing first.
Okay. So I know that we created tags from Maya for when she would be absent.
You'll find them on your character sheet down near the fellowship, and you'll use these side arrows to cycle through until you get to Maya, Mark of the Witchwood.
Yeah, I think like Hinterland Tracker.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess could I make a, since Maya's not actually here, like we would use her tag for to assist one of us, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Or just have Maya do it, and you get to use the tags that are directly applicable. So if you combine your efforts with Maya, then you both kind of expose yourself to potential consequences if things don't work out well.
Okay. So how do I choose her tags? How do we choose our tags?
You may have to use the full character sheet to do it, but it's for certain there. I don't see how it shows up on.
Yeah.
Doesn't show up. Extra tags don't show up there. Extra themes, I mean.
Yeah, I'm looking at the full sheet and I see Maya as a PC NPC, so we have Mark of the Witchwood. But when I click on it, it just gives me the pop-up menu with all the particulars.
I think you've unlocked your sheet.
Yeah, you have to
It
lock
is
it.
unlocked.
Yes,
Oh, I
you
have to
should lock
lock
it.
it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Thank you. Um,
We were going to say, is it plugged in? But
hey, that's cool. Lock is good. All right. Is it plugged in? Yes. Okay. Got 2 tags. So this would be, I guess, a tracked outcome. Is that right?
Not for nothing.
Or
My
quick?
monitor, even if I leave it plugged in, I still have to unplug it back in for it to come back up. It's really annoying.
wow.
Okay.
So if you do
Irrelevant.
a tracked outcome, you're looking to generate tags or status. If you're not looking to do that, then the proper move is probably a quick outcome because you're looking, it's more like a pass fail kind of. And what is it you're trying
Right.
to do with this? You're having Maya tell you something interesting. What? What is it?
In the
What's-
direction to go.
If
Which
you
one
succeed,
made
she will
greater
tell you
sense
which
to her?
direction to go. Okay.
Maya,
Right.
show the way, kind of thing.
And I
You
think
don't, Maya.
specifically show us the way that'll get us closer to the thing, the presence that we feel like stirring within.
Or just have her lead the way.
Yeah, but I'm saying
two.
lead the way to what?
Okay.
Have her lead the way to the thing that is stirring.
Right. Okay, so with an 8, there's a success, but there's consequences. So the consequences in this case are going to be kind of how long it takes you. So Maya kneels down. She picks a little bit of the dirt up and smells it and lets it fall down, and she checks it. She picks it up again, and in front of these vines, she lets the dust fall again to see which way it moves, if it moves at all. She goes to each of the different places, and she will repeat this as you go from intersection to intersection once she picks a way to go. Maybe there's a smaller offshoot, and she'll stop and check that before proceeding, just to make sure that you guys stay on target to go deeper into the mines to wherever this place is that you're seeking, where this thing called a witherbind exists. And she gets to a point where she seems a little unsure. So she looks around, she tries a couple of things, and then she, of course, signals to go to the left. And so she heads that way, and you guys follow. As you press deeper, the air begins to change again. This time dry, still, pungent with the rot of things long forgotten. In a wide chamber carved by ancient picks, scattered bones lie among rusted tools and shattered lanterns. But these bones are not at rest. They begin to rise. Once miners of this vein, their skeletons are bound together not by sinew, but by pulsing verdant cords of miasmic vines. Green veined roots loop through the empty sockets. A dark atmosphere about them, almost of buzzing flies. And these roots that loop through empty sockets curl around femurs and slither between ribs like muscle grown wrong. Each movement makes a sick, grinding noise. Pickaxes lifted in trembling, spasmodic rhythm. Their mouths hang slack, but their eyes if you can call them that, glow faintly with a sickly sap light, as if something deep beneath still stares upward, commanding. They are not mindless, but neither are they free.
How many of them did we make out?
A small group, and two of the closest towards you lurch forward, swinging their axes as if there were some kind of song going on silently between them to coordinate their swings.
I'm going to engage it, raise my shield, and attack it.
Very
I
good.
tell
So,
everyone to at arms.
Jared, with them, you've stepped forward with your shield, and so with them threatening you, what?
As a team member, I am right with him.
Okay. So then, with that, they will land a poignant blow, a wild swing will land surprisingly hard. You need to mitigate to not suffer harm. And
Okay, let me just. And I'm going to. Okay, mitigate. This should be.
nothing gets to me. Defend the weak. Well, you're defending yourself.
I do have Toma behind me. I'm not letting you get to him.
That's not going to help you mitigate the damage coming at you, though. So I'm going to cross that off. Battered shield for sure. These are crazy looking miners. Oh, we added more ruthless. All right.
Might as well. If I lost
There you go.
the protection of the weak, I'll take ruthless.
Okay.
Okay. Did I? Did I? Oh, I think I lost it. Hold on, I'll do it again. There we go. No, and the weak comes off. That's right.
Okay. Go for it. Nice. So with a 12, you actually ward off all of the harm to you. Now, Chewbacca, you need to make a mitigate roll as well. Go Chewbacca, go Chewbacca.
I guess Standfast is still burnt.
I don't believe you ever unburnt it. Yep. I know your disguised kit is burnt for sure.
I think that should have unburnt when we camped, though. Or at least, like, one of them should have.
Well, the disguise kit couldn't, but we could.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Probably unburn Standfast. Okay, that's fine. I'm good with that. Okay, so protecting the weak, I'm not going to allow you that either. So uncheck that one. You're you're protecting yourself right now. So that's what's directly applicable. So mercenary fighter, that's fine. Team tactics. So you're maybe creating a better defense by being close, like a front line with Jared. It's fine. Stand fast. Leather armor, that's good. And you think that I'm called girly by many of my fellow fighters. I'm not sure that's going to fit. So go ahead and uncheck that weakness. I think.
So below in backpack, I've got quarterstaff,
Okay, I see
experienced.
quarterstaff. Yep. How come you don't have a weakness tag? It's for circumstance. Oh, I don't see it.
What's that?
Your circumstance theme doesn't have a weakness tag. Is that because you removed the weakness tag when you leveled up or something?
I didn't.
Okay.
I must have done something.
Okay, I'm gonna look at your regular sheet too. Let's see. Yep, it's just missing. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be there or what, but anyway, I just noticed it wasn't there. So I was looking to see if I could cherry pick any other weakness tags, but all right. So with that, you may go ahead and make your roll. Go ahead. So choose detailed. Is that the right one? Yeah, detailed attack. That's fine. It's not really like a great answer for that, but yeah.
I'm trying to get to the buttons, but all I can see.
Along the left-hand side. Otherwise, just use your character sheet. I think you get away with that. You were doing that before. That's fine.
Well, the original character sheet doesn't have anything highlighted.
Okay, so I'll tell you what you had. You had mercenary fighter, team tactics, stand fast, leather armor, quarterstaff, and that's it.
Okay. So quick.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. Okay, approve all. Normally you would do a tracked outcome just so we could see how many power and if you succeeded by enough. So with the 12, that's Jared's. You're an 11. Okay, so your 11 is good enough because it needs to be 10 or higher to get rid of all of the effects. So
Yeah.
you defend against you knock the attack aside, the pickaxe that are coming at you. And with that, I need to take a real quick break for a second. I gotta go take care of something. I'll be right back.
Do you remember where the like journal or quest thing was in this?
Ooh, let's see.
Sorry about that, gents. I was becoming growingly distracted by something and dropping out of the narrative, finding that my responses were not story-like at all. So I just need to quickly resolve
Fine.
that.
Do you remember where or how to get to the like journal or the place where we have like our quests?
Yeah,
and
World
stuff?
Anvil. Is that what you're talking about? Or do you mean in this interface, in the VTT?
In this interface, there was
Yeah, hit J. Where's
J.
the J key?
Okay, yeah.
And then pressing J again makes it go away.
All right, thank you.
Sure. You betcha. All right. So these creatures, clearly skeletons that have been merged with miasmic vines, making them the skeleton crew,
No pun intended.
bone miners. They look quite displeased with things across the cave back where Ashrin is. Another one just comes out of the dark. It was like somewhere in maybe a little, the uneven walls was between, just barely out of sight. Just kind of comes out of nowhere. And its vine lit eyes flaring brighter as it stares at you, Ashrin, preparing to strike true. What do you do?
Yeah, she is going to quickly try to cast the blinding starlight to repel it.
Okay. I have a feeling this spell's going to get its use tonight.
Yeah, it worked a little bit on a door. See how it works on a vine zombie or whatever.
Right. Oh, are you doing it in the sidebar? I didn't have it open. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm
yeah.
like, he's taking a while. All right. So Seeker of the Order, Novice Astromancer. So you're welcome to like begin to announce them out as you select them. And if you feel like it needs some justification to prove that it's relevant before I challenge it, you can do that. Seeker of the Order and Novice Astromancer, you're using your star metal tip staff and relying on that good memory of yours to recall the spell that you put together the night before. And you're now adding to that Mage Fire Master.
Yeah, so I've been using the Mage Fire Master on this specific spell because the way she developed this spell was she tweaked her Mage Fire. She turned the heat of the Mage Fire into light instead, so it's still based on her Mage Fire at the core.
Okay. Did you lose your other tag?
Yeah, for some reason when I used the temporary
crispy
tag thing, it was crispy.
That's why.
But for some reason it also got rid of my relationship ones as well.
That's weird. That's not right.
But
okay, so
the way I've been doing it is in my people I have attention to detail. I use that tag whenever she is trying to do something new, because she has to keep in her head all the different like details of
And do it right. Yep.
how to do it right. But then after she's done it correctly, a time or two, it just becomes rote memory for her. So I use the good memory instead.
Yep. That's good. Yep. That's fine. One time's all it takes.
When there's a moment, I would like to use my devotion.
And what would you use your Is this related to Ashwin's move right now?
It's related to all of the dead people here.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on then. That'll be its own action. So hold on. All right, Ashwin, go ahead and do your detailed attack. Ooh. So very good. You have 5 power to spend on a status, if you'd like, 5-tier status.
Yeah, I will. I will put an influence on it. Of what did I say? It just repelled, or yeah, the typical kind of turn undead.
Okay.
I don't know if they can feel fear, but
well, we're fixing to find out. All right. So describe how you do this spell for me.
yeah. So she already has her mage fire just for normal, torchlight type of stuff. In her head, she remembers a particular starry night that she observed when she was training on top of Mount Endpoint, of a star that flashed incredibly bright in the sky and then disappeared. And she, since her mage fire is like a twinkling star, she takes that image of the star in the sky and makes her mage fire do the same thing. It just slowly grows in brightness until it's just overwhelmingly bright in the room, and then fades almost instantaneously back down to its dim mage fire.
Okay. Are there any words that you speak during this at all, or is it a silent kind of?
Yeah, it's a more silent, focused concentration on her mental image and remembering what she saw.
Okay. So you're doing your King Kamehameha thing. And you get your star metal staff up and you have your hand behind it to maybe power it and brighten
she
it.
holds it high, yeah.
And then you lift it up and like maybe spin it around or something and do something and whatever. And as you do that, the whole chamber suddenly flashes like paparazzi. And you've kind of angled it toward this particular threat to stop it. And he literally just gets kind of blown back against the wall and pulverized. And all that's left is the sloppy vines and pieces of bone that just kind of cascade to the ground. Meanwhile, 2 others are getting ready to, just hold on, Chewbacca, I'm coming to you. Good grief.
Bless you.
If it's not one thing, it's another. All right. So 2 of them are preparing to strike wall beams, right? With their mining tools, not at you, but at the environment itself, potentially causing parts of the roof to cave in. So Chewbacca, as they're pulling back to do that, again, in that weird syncopated kind of, you've seen railroad guys sing the song while they take turns slamming in the pikes. These guys do the same kind of thing, but there's no singing. There's this wet breathing that kind of is doing it for him. So, what do you do, Chewbacca?
I'm sorry. Could you re-describe what's doing these acts?
Yeah, these two. Well, you're in this larger kind of cavern or junction between tunnels, and these guys rose up off the ground. They are all skeletal, like long dead miners that have grown back, like from the grave, brought back to life with these miasmic vines acting as their sinew and muscle. So they have picked up these pickaxes and mining tools, and they have begun to attack you. And so these are the guys that are coming at you.
See, I am overwhelmed by terrible sense of injustice. With these dead people being utilized for such horrible things. Think of all of the terrible things that lost souls experience and how pitiable and pitiful they are. Start to think of a song that I saw in my primer about how to acknowledge and honor the dead, to give them rest, to free them from the bonds of undeath.
Okay. So what is it? What outcome are you looking for here?
I want to put the dead that are being used basically to rest so that they can't be used anymore. They go on to their end, whatever they
Okay.
believe is their end.
Sure. All right. Go for it.
Quick.
No. You would do a tracked outcome because we're going to maybe apply status. This isn't a pass fail.
On. The buttons on the side have reaction, quick, detailed attack, detailed empower.
So do detailed attack. It's fine. The variations between the detailed just offer up different kinds of suggestions. Whoa, look at that.
Ow.
Amazing.
All right.
Wow.
So power of 3.
I fill the cavern with this song from the primer that I have, basically allowing unrested souls to find peace and return to their ultimate glory or reward.
Right on. Okay. Then why don't you give us a status that we should apply?
Like, would at peace be something? Or
Sure. Rest in peace. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
okay. Like,
And
attack would be give them a harmful status. disrupt.
Yes. Yeah.
Or-
So that would work. And if you, yeah. So if, for example, if you continued on this path and you did it again, you could elevate it to a 4 or a 5, and it, whatever their limit is. Challenges have different limits. Your limit is 5, 6 to be dead, but 5 to be out of the fight, right? So you have a limit of 5 basically on everything, and challenges have different limits. In this case, though, sometimes a challenge may have a limit of dash dash, like no, not applicable. And that is the case here. These guys are not affected by your prayer of rest. They, you now sense, are not actually undead. These are almost like the vines using the skeletons as a vehicle.
Marionette.
Yeah. So these are not undead. So I played a game in the 90s, by the way, that had creatures that were just like this. They would take dead bodies and they would dig a shallow grave and plant a seed in their chest and then bury them. And when within a few days, it would sprout a gospog, which was like a plant zombie. So pretty cool. But anyway, the thing is dead. It is not a reanimated dead thing. It's just a skeleton, right? It's not undead. It's very dead, but the vines aren't. So the vines are the new muscle and sinew. All right. So you've learned something now. These cannot be turned. These cannot be treated that way. The difference between what you did and what Ashrin did is that Ashrin's, I think, her spell acted mostly as you were trying to knock them back, right? That's what kind of I got what you were trying to say. So you were actually like using a force power, so to speak, and you shot the thing up against the wall with that kind of power. So it died flat out. Okay, so there's nothing for your god to do here when it comes to putting these people to rest. Uh-oh. Now,
If I see what they're attempting to do and they don't stop, I am going to run and intercede and get between whatever they're going to want to hit. Kind of put my shield there.
okay. So you have multiple bone miners start to, as they come close together, that breathing becomes like this horrible hum that's coming out of their chest. Vibrating bone and root in eerie harmony. With that, the sound vibration is coming out of them, and you see that the miasma, the like little black flies that are fuzzy all about them, they begin to like react within the sound waves themselves. So they're kind of spreading out like this. So Jared, with them in front of you, you probably can try to lead the way on stopping this from happening, but right now this could affect everyone in the room. So what do you do?
I am going to engage them and give them a target other than what they intend, and then hope that the rest of the team will act on that as I'm drawing their attention.
Okay. Go for it. What are you going
I
to do?
hope this works. I am going for this.
Oh, you were ready. All right. Forged in War, Battered Shield, Smoldering Rage, Nothing Gets to Me, Shining Sword, Can Handle a Blade, Move Through the Battlefield, and Such a violent act, I'm going to add nightmares in there to remind you of where you came from.
Yep. No,
Um,
that makes
let me,
sense.
let me think of what
My muscles,
else.
it's almost muscle memory, but the memory comes with it.
Okay, I'm also going to add root sinew musculature. Let me change that to, so the toughness of their bodies is vine, like bark vine almost. So that will add at 1 negative to you as well. I don't see anything else really to add. Let me see real quick. Nope, I think we're good. So I will approve that. And you are just you're getting violent, right? You're just absolutely
Yep.
going for it. Okay. So you rolled a 6. That would normally be a failure, but you put so much power into this. You now have a power 5 response that you can use. With this, you're going to probably you're going to cut into one and then turn around and just smash another down to the ground, and you reduce their number by 2. Do a little
Yep. To position
spin.
myself in front of them so that they have to go through me to whatever they want.
Okay. All right, cool. They are going to move towards you, and one will try to get past you. They are moving with their pickaxes going up and down in this odd rhythmic fashion, this jerky kind of rhythm, as if they're remembering labor more than war. And so you've got these attacks coming to you, and what do you do?
Can Ashran try to cast her spell again to defend him? Or I guess intercept?
Well, since they're distracted, you could probably attack them from behind, depending on where you're positioned.
I mean, she would be behind Jared and Chewbacca by probably 10, 15 feet.
That was the plan. I'd run interference and then hope that you guys would come up with something to do something from behind.
Okay.
Feel free to intercede.
So do you want to assist him in fighting them, or are you going to try to do something different, like create a couple more tags that he can use or something along those lines? What do you have in mind? What's the outcome you're looking for?
I mean, considering how effective she saw it work on the previous one, she's just gonna try to blast the one that's attacking him away.
Okay. So should we say that you're kind of off to the side a little bit from him and going to try to blast it? Otherwise, are you trying to shoot over the top of him, or how do you see that?
Yeah, similar to like the other one where she, raised the staff up, kind of high, and then directed it, down towards the specific one that was closer. She'll raise it up high, her staff above everyone's heads, and then kind of point it down at
Okay.
the specific one, moving towards Jared.
Okay. So you're kind of staying back. They're all moving forward like a front. So you're going to take your staff, put it up real high, and use that kind of get an over the top vantage and try to lay into one of them in front of him. Okay. All right. Go for it.
Yeah.
I added a weakness to my circumstance. I don't remember what the old one was.
Okay.
But when there's a chance, I would like to also create, help tags for everybody else to use, since affecting the bad guys is not.
Yep. So I think what we want to do is have you do something that will either help a specific action or just a buff for the scene, right? Or buff a certain user. So if you're going to try to interrupt to, like it's called steal the spotlight, to apply something specific to help the character's current action, great. Otherwise, you wait. And then after their action completes, you can do a thing.
What is the current action?
Right now, Ashrin is trying to blast one
Another
of the
one of the
another
minor.
one of the miners.
Okay. You go.
All right.
All right.
You see what I got?
Seeker of the Order, Novice, Astromancer, Star Metal Tipstaff, Good Memory, Mage Fire Master, requires concentration, avoids attachments. Okay. Yep. All right, go for it.
Nice.
Okay, so
Man,
with the
we're
14, you have a
rolling
power
high
of 5.
tonight.
You actually blast another one of those things directly down into the ground. He rolls and kind of makes this little temporary tumbleweed of bone and vine. And in that process, the bones just kind of fly and scatter, and the weeds are shriveled when they stop. So, okay. All right. So, Chewbacca, what do you have in mind?
What are we trying to stop these guys from doing? They're trying to
Kill
break
you?
something.
You're trying to
Yeah.
stop them from killing you.
Okay, so then I would like to basically use the training that I've been helping everybody with my
Teamwork makes the dream work.
right. I would like to basically tell everybody, give everybody like ideas and say, hey, stand together, everybody, come closer together. Hey, get up behind us, stuff like that, so that we can, basically act as a team that's more functional and to protect ourselves from areas that we wouldn't normally think of.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
Yep. That's what you're trying to do. That's your action. So you're going to create some tags for people to use. Okay.
I guess that's it. Quick,
Okay.
detailed and power.
Yes, detailed. You can do detailed and power. That's fine. Yep. Okay, so this is a success that comes with a consequence. So let me think of a consequence. So you go ahead and decide what you're going to do with your 3 power. With 2 power, you can create a tag, or you can create a status of 3, because it's 1 tier status per each.
Status 3. I guess call it teamwork. Status 3.
Okay.
Put that on me or on the.
So you pick someone you're adding the status to if you're going to give someone a status. If you're going to give a group of people a status, then you have to kind of spend a power to do that. So you could reduce your 3 to a 2 and then give it to your companions.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Okay. Then do that and okay. So you guys can add a status to yourselves of what did you call it? Teamwork?
Yes, or more.
Okay.
That way we're all working in synchrony. We're not like tripping over each other. We're keeping our group together tight so that nobody's got their backs exposed, stuff like that.
Okay. So you guys can do that. And so now these miners, once again, are going to try to potentially collapse the ceiling. Two of them turn to some of the supports and take their sledgehammers or pickaxes and just try to hammer into those things. Jared, what do you do?
I'm going to. Are they together or are they separated by
They're
distance? Because if they're
they're
separated, I don't.
yeah, they got a little bit of space between them, but they're trying to take out the same major
Okay,
beam.
cool. So then I barrel into them.
Okay.
Okay, can we change it to well-running unit?
That would be a tag. So a status would be a condition. So
Okay.
like think of it like a D&D condition. That would be a status. So what should we do about that? Because even teamwork is kind of a tag, right?
What can I create for everybody to use, basically to encompass the fact that I am basically telling everyone how to get their crap together, what to expect,
Yeah.
things like that. How
You can
to
create a
expose
scene tag if you want. What did you say you wanted it to be?
a well-oiled machine.
Okay. All right, everybody can see that well-oiled machine. That is a tag you can add to your role. All right. Mr. Courage, yep. Ruthless makes sense. Wasn't born yesterday.
I've encountered the thing from the farm, so I've seen things like this before. Not afraid of them.
You're not
Makes
fooling
sense to
me,
me.
Sonny. I wasn't born yesterday, you know. That's how I hear that. Not easily fooled, but I'm going to say no on that. Memento of someone I lost.
That's
How does
actually my
this-
shield. It doubles for my shield.
Oh, so you have two tags that represent your shield? That's fine.
Shield.
Yeah. All right. Strength and resolve. That sounds like you would inspire other people to strengthen their resolve. But I'll let you do it for yourself. It's fine. All right. So.
Oh, I'm trying to hold the line. That's all I'm trying to do. All
Okay.
right. Let's see.
All right. All right. So you get a 10 with a power 4. So that is enough to do it. So you're going to have no consequence. Meanwhile, I forgot to, while I was having you do your tags, I was forgot to apply your consequence. Mister, I rolled an 8. So in this case, you will still suffer consequences. So I'm going to say that one of the miners was able to hit you with a pickaxe. And so we're going to call that cracked. Let's see. Pickaxe to the shoulder. Call it bleeding arm. So I'll give you a status of bleeding arm. Good grief. So bleeding arm 1. All right. So Chewbacca, you've got 1 level of harm now at bleeding arm. All right. Meanwhile, Jared, you've succeeded with no consequences. So what are you doing with your... Yeah, exactly. What are you doing with your 4 power?
Let's see. With my 4 power, I am going to. How many of these things do we have left? With a quick scan.
It's a handful or less. We don't worry
Okay.
ourselves with details here.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the power of 4, I am going to. I'm going to embolden my comrades. Is there a way to?
I thought you were going all out to attack these guys.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I
Yeah,
can.
you were trying to stop them from knocking down the pillar.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which I did. I thought I
So you said
dispensed 2. How many? There's still more
Well,
near the pillars.
no, your tracked outcome here was to take care of the guys that were hammering out the support beam. So you said I'm going to take him out, right? You said you're going to like bull rush him or something. All right.
Yep.
So you're going to knock him prone or something like that, or are you doing harm to them, or like with your sword?
I'm going to go with the harm. I'm going to go with the harm and just kind of destroy them.
Okay. Says you.
And now I'm going to start beating on them with my staff the next chance I get.
Okay. You did 4, but scale makes it 3. So there we go. You've given them gaping wound 3. Okay, so Chewbacca, as you turn, they meet you eye to eye as their vine-lit eyes flare brighter, staring at you as they walk forward, preparing to strike true. What do you do?
I hit them with my staff.
Hit him with the staff. So they start to swing, and you say, "Make an appointment with my assistant."
Yeah.
Wrong staff.
Oh.
If I was making an attack, then my leather armor wouldn't be useful, right?
Not really. That would be a good mitigation tag.
Um, can't see on my list of things any way to use the tag that we had that I had created before.
The well-oiled machine. Do you see it up in the scene area, the scene stuff up in the top left corner?
Oh yeah, there. Not so quick or a detailed attack.
Should be
Detailed. Yep.
Of course. I had already clicked. Quick.
So when you roll a 10, you have a power of 4. So, power of 1. All right, so you rolled a 10 with a power of 1. Let's see. And you used well-oiled machine backwards. So it's really a power of 2, but then it didn't take the memory of the pick, so it's still power of 1. All right, I did my math. -1. So you actually have a power of 0, but with a success, there is what we call the rule of 1. So you always have at least a power of 1 when you make a successful roll. So what do you want to do with your 1 power? Do you want to add to the gaping wounds that they already have?
Yes.
Okay. I will add 1, and that makes it 3. Still 3 and 1 pip. Okay.
Is there any way to do like if they are undead or bone stuff like that? And I have a staff, which in many game systems staff would be good against undead or people made of bones, things like that.
Yes, correct.
Is there any way that could work in with?
Nope, that is absolutely in my notes already. And now that you've reminded me to use it, I should go back and retcon all of Jared's moves with his sword to make them less effective.
No.
So let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and make gaping wound down to a 2.
Right.
So we'll make it gaping wound 2 now, but it's 2.1.
Wait. What's being minimized here?
Hey,
I
your
was asking
your
if
fine
using a
work.
staff would be helpful, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I have that noted down," and then that would retcon Jared's work because he's using a stabbing weapon.
Oh, but I didn't use my sword last time. I actually used my shield. And even
Better.
if I were to fight undead, I'd use them with the flat of my blade, not necessarily the edge.
Okay. Noted. All right.
Ashrin would like to. She has an idea. All of these miners are moving around from vines, kind of controlling them. Is there a source she can see where all the vines kind of come from?
That's an interesting question. There isn't an obvious source that you can see, but if you'd like to use your action to kind of study the environment, we can see if there is something to see. I'd hate to, deprive you of that opportunity.
Yeah, she'll study the environment for clues.
Okay. Go ahead. Yep. Glad you picked gullible. I was going to pick that.
Yeah.
Okay, you've successfully disarmed me from doing cool stuff. No, I'm kidding. All right, so go ahead. You may make your roll. See if you can do a quick outcome for this. There's no reason to track it. I would say to you, young lady, that if there was a source, you think you would have found it. These seem to be strangely autonomous, like maybe the fact that they have animated the skeleton they become or are severed from or something, or there's something else going on, but there isn't anything especially obvious about that.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, there's like 3 of them left in the room. They start to come together again and create this harmony, this sick, disgusting harmony of some sort where they are kind of like humming through their chest somehow and vibrating bone and root.
Are they in harmony at least?
No, it's not right. It is definitely a warped kind of harmony. So with that, Chewbacca, you have you're probably the closest to take action on this. What do you want to do?
Hit him with my staff.
Okay. You trying to add some percussion to the melody?
Yeah.
A xylophone, if you will.
Bring in the percussion.
Detailed effect. Is that a detailed attack?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time you do an attack, if you're trying to create tags or apply statuses, that's always a detailed attack. If you're trying to discover something, that's a detailed attack. The only time you're using a quick outcome is when I tell you to do a quick outcome, pretty much. It's because I don't care about the number of levels that you got. All right. So in this case, you are going to, a consequence is going to happen. So go ahead and.
Well-oiled machine is acting weird.
What happened to it? Oh, it's because when you click it, you have to click it again to make it positive. So
Mine just deactivates it after on a second.
if you right click,
oh, right click.
it turns it yellow. That's good. Orange is bad.
Okay.
Yellow is good. You click it again, it turns off. All right. So I thought Chewbacca was rolling.
I did. I rolled badly.
Did I miss that? It was 8 minutes ago. Are you
I rolled
sure?
a 5.
Ashland.
I rolled a
Chewbacca.
5.
There it is. I see it now. Okay.
Roll 1.
Yeah. So you should have.
Should have a 6.
Those kind of work themselves out. 1, 2, 3. I see 3, and then 2 well-oiled machines added a couple of times.
But they both added negatives.
That's right. So it should go just to 3, a power of 3. Is that what you said? Oh, except he rolled 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So a 7 would succeed with consequences. So go ahead and do your 1, 2, 3, 4. But see, I didn't even get a chance to put my. That's what I don't like about this little sidebar thing. I don't get a chance to put any of my other tags in there. Not happy about that. Because they are root and sinew musculature. And I would have added that in for their
We could
kind of
go
their.
back to the old way.
Yeah. So let me just do the math real quick. Mercenary fighter, team tactics, quarterstaff, well-oiled machine is 4, right? And then you're wounded, so that's 3. And then root and sinew musculature is 2. So it's still a mix. Let's see, 2 plus 4 is 6. So 2 plus 4 is 6 is a miss with consequences. So in this case, the consequence is that everyone in the room feels the cloud of miasma and just like expand out, like poof, 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 and expand out. So I'm going to add, I think I'll just do it as like a scene tag, a scene status. And we're going to call it Spores of Conflict.
Yay!
Okay, so it's just kind of like this powder explosion, like someone just clapped their hands that were all full of flour, and poof, like this, and it goes all over the place. It's kind of what happens from them, but they're these little black, gnats, basically. All right. So with that, yes.
Ashrin would like to try to mitigate those spores.
I collapsed to my knees, coughing horribly.
Okay. I think everyone except Chewbacca can mitigate because he's the one who rolled the miss. So that's fine. So if you guys want to, the other two, do your mitigation.
Well, I meant like try to remove the scene tag.
The
Oh,
spore?
I see
From
what you're
the
saying.
Yeah. She's gonna try casting her her Aether Wind and try to blow the spores away.
Okay.
I'm sure she makes that noise.
The music died. There it is.
Okay.
Seeker of the Order.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead and make your roll. I took away one of your weaknesses.
Okay. Is this still just going to be like a detailed attack?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Because you have to exceed the power of the status. All those good rolls are coming back to nip you in the butt. So your consequences now are gonna take away your good memory. You're gonna start to doubt yourself a little bit in remembering things. You've gotten yourself confused. You thought it was this way, but the spell didn't work.
Yeah,
So
and
maybe
she's
you,
been casting a bunch of spells as well, back to back, so
Yep.
her brain's probably racked right now of too many things.
yep. All right. So the
I'm-
miners that remain are raising their pickaxes and bringing it down in a jerky rhythm. Jared, what are you gonna do?
I am going to. I still have to contend with the spores, so my first
Do
action is
you?
going to be to deal with that.
Okay.
Was I in the range of them?
You're gonna yes. You want to do a mitigation to see if you can avoid them or
Yep.
not get them. Okay.
Just suck it up.
Be a man. And that's something coming from Chewbacca, you know. They used to call him girly.
Okay, so that's a success, and you do not have the spore of conflict. Okay. So, then these guys come at you, Jared. What do you do?
I'm going to engage them.
Okay.
Don't see what else there is to do, so me.
Trying to fend them off and block their incoming attacks
Yep.
and do some harm in the process. Let's see how it goes.
Just make sure I got this right. Okay, that seems right.
All right, smoldering rage. Oh, are you getting angry? Are you?
Oh yeah.
I'm always angry. That'd be your shield. Can handle a blade. Yep. There's your shinning sword. Ruthless, and I'll let you have Forged in War this time. Okay. These guys have root, sinew, musculature. Hey, click already. Root, sinew, the musculature should be a -1. The weird rolling thing happened.
Should be
And
11, power 5.
okay. So 11 power 5. What do you want to do with your 5? With
Crush them.
with scale and your sword. Power 3. What are you doing? You're trying. I know, but what kind of status are we going to increase the gaping wounds? Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay. Looking for the outcome. All right. And so you rush through it. Your sword is making sounds like it's not supposed to make because you're doing what you can to broadside
Get
him
with
with
the
your
flat of
sword.
it, yeah.
Yeah, which is not good for a sword. But you managed to do enough that the miners, like you topple them all and break them up. You hit them pretty hard. All right, so you are left now in the silence of the room. Ashran's blazing mage fire, a small sun atop her staff. What do you do?
I check on my comrades to see how they are. How they're doing. How's Ashton? I'm looking at her. Is she hurt? Is she okay? She winded, tired?
She's fine, but you see her kind of. It would be equivalent to like a migraine or something in her head. So it's not necessarily like visible, but you see her definitely massaging her temple.
Okay. And
I,
Chewbacca check him out quickly, and I see that he got wounded. I'm like, are you? I make a makeshift band-aid for his shoulder, try to bandage him up real quick.
Okay, who are you bandaging again?
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Okay.
I got bleeding arm 1.
Yep. Okay.
And Toma's okay, right?
Yep, he stayed in the back.
Good. Were there any supplies here that can be of use? I know we gave it the quick glance, but did they have anything that was salvageable?
There's some mining like tools like pickaxes and a couple of hammers.
You could maybe hammer Chewbacca's back into shape.
Hammer Chewbacca back into shape.
He's being funny.
I'm going to gather up some of the bones and take them with me in my backpack.
Okay.
Ashton's gonna scan the room, just since there's vines everywhere, see if there's any other threats in the room, possibly lurking to, ambush them when they think they're safe.
Okay. You're just looking to. I'm sorry, I missed the last part. I was trying to piece it together from audible memory, and it's not there. So
Yeah. So because the room's filled with like vines and
yeah.
everything, she's still on guard for
Okay.
any
Yeah.
potential, ambushes or any other threats in the room. So she's scanning for threats.
Yeah. Okay. That's. I thought it was something after that. I'm like, okay, all right. And I was gonna say, when you were doing something else, I thought you were gonna like take an
No.
action of some kind, and I was waiting to see what I was supposed to tell you to do. All right. Yeah. Okay. So you're on guard, and you're bandaging up Chewbacca's wound. So go ahead, and why don't you roll to do that?
Okay.
Just want a quick
Okay.
outcome for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
For some reason, it had good memories selected as burned, but not actually burnt. So it should only be power 1
Interesting.
9.
And
Because
I'm
that's what
rolling
that
with a
scratch
Band-Aid.
is on the side. It's, I think they're going with scratched as the instead of burned. But okay. All right. So roll your
The
Band-Aid.
bandaging is tracked.
It's a tier 1. You can do a quick outcome. That's fine.
Okay.
Come on, Snake Eyes. Nope, you did pretty good. So you bandage his wound pretty good, so it's not going to bother you anymore. You can go ahead and take that off of your sheet. Let's just hit the minus next to bleeding arm 1, and then click 1, and it will remove it. Okay. Or I'll do it for you. There we go. All right. So you guys continue on your journey. Toma tells you that he thinks that things are getting close. He senses the big witherbind.
We're on alert, on guard as we make our way cautiously.
All right. The tunnel yawns wider and then suddenly vanishes into vastness. The air thickens not just with dampened dust, but with something older. Before you sprawls a grand cavern, its ceiling lost in gloom above, its breadth vanishing into shadow. Faint bioluminescence clings to the walls like ghost lichen, throwing pale glints onto stone and root like. Here the vines are not just overgrowth, they are architecture. They hang in draping loops and twists, pretzeled together, all hanging down from above. But in an odd way, they seem to have crept together, binding themselves into thick cords. And then those cords binding together into thicker cords. Starting at the top and angling down. And then at some point, branching off, defying gravity in the cavern, such that you could turn your head and see a tree. This is like the antithesis of a tree growing upside down in darkness. It's large, and it seems to have grown perhaps along some stalagmites, not needing them, but using them to fulfill its shape. The tree itself seems fairly large, not as big as an ancient oak or a redwood, not by any stretch, but big enough. Seems to, if it had rings, if you cut a cross section of it and could count rings, it might tell you of its age being a couple hundred years old, perhaps. It does not have leaves, but instead, perhaps something else. Maybe fungus, maybe some other such thing. It's dark in here, very dark, but the lichen does give the whole cavern an ambience. You've just stepped inside. Ashwin, what do you do?
Oh, I'm sorry to say to everyone, she pulls out her notebook. And she's gonna start drawing.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna take in the scene and start just drawing what she can, and
What do you
maybe
do with your staff while you do that?
she just kind of rests it up against a pillar or something. Or is there soft ground?
No, it's just all cavern
It's the
floor.
solid stone cavern floor.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like rock. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then she just lean it up against a rock.
With the way this cavern opens up, your staff still casts maybe a more eerie light because the light itself disappears apparently into the darkness.
I can hold that if you'd like.
She'll say, "Please, thank you."
I pick up the stuff.
Chewbacca, in the middle distance, there's a faint rustling. You are alert to it. You've been on guard for some dark danger that lay ahead. Perhaps this is it. A faint rustling. No, a shuffling can be heard. Shapes move below. Figures cloaked in shadow. Maybe in armor of woven bark and antler. Not the witherbind. No. This is something else. And overhead, swaying like a spider in its web, the central mass of the witherbind slumbers or watches. Hard to say. The cavern is waiting, and so is everything in it. What do you do?
Me specifically?
You plural. You the royal you. You the people.
I have described what I'm getting to the other people and say, are you seeing this? This seems very strange. Like, can I create any assumptions about the nature of the creatures and stuff? Maybe possibly limitations that might be exploited, like maybe they can't turn over well, something like that.
Okay.
Limitations in armor.
Sure. So go ahead and make a discover roll. This would be a tracked outcome. No, tracked.
Oh, sorry.
You ask and then you roll anyway.
Sorry.
It's okay. So what that tells me, you have a power of 2. You rolled an 11. That is enough to give you a couple of details. First, your eyes
What?
have difficulty adjusting to the darkness down below. The light in your arms, in your hands, seems to be impeding that a little bit. And then you realize you are holding light in a dark cavern. This gives you away like a beacon, a lighthouse in the cave.
I tell everyone that I'm going to put out my light.
It's mage fire. Ashrin has it. Ashrin's cast it and put it upon her staff.
Yes.
She's got to break her
Oh,
concentration on it.
okay. Yeah. They can see the fire, Ashrin.
Yeah.
Says,
Yar.
but I needed to see.
They also needed to see us.
You hunker down behind some stalagmites or rock, hoping that you haven't given yourself away too badly.
I pulled Toma behind it so that he has coverage.
Okay. As your eyes, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess Ashrin will snuff out her mage fire.
Okay. As your eyes adjust to the strange dimness of the grand cavern, you can make them out a little bit better. Figures below, moving with unsettling purpose. Their forms wiry and hunched, wrapped in dark leathers or organic armor. They seem to drink in the ambient light. Their movements are not smooth, but jerky, as if their limbs move just a moment after their minds command them. One crouches near a vine-strangled pillar, fingers tapping a rhythm against the stone. Click, 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 like insect legs on bone. Another circles the central mass of the cavern, dragging a long staff that leaves no sound but causes the vines it touches to shudder slightly, recoiling as if in distaste. Their leader, easily identified by the tangle of moss and bone woven into his high collars and extra antlers upon his head, steps forward with ritual precision, but yet not. His herky-jerky motions seem to have no rhythm at all. No gait, no syncopation, no coordination. He croaks low syllables into the air, clicks, growls, throat rattles. The language not meant for human ears. He moves toward the vast form of the Witherbind, holding up an object wrapped in twine. An offering, a warning, a test.
I lean over and whisper quietly to Tome. What is he saying?
I actually couldn't hear that.
I think he asked Toma what he was saying.
Correct. In a very low whisper.
I was able to piece that together, but yeah, it was very broken up. Toma says,
This is a twisted version of Verunian. This is the language of the Sablekin and the Shadowmarked.
one of these Sablekin, the one crouched near the vine-laced pillar, stops. Its head tilts sharply, too sharply, to one side. It raises a hand, clawed and trembling, to shield its eyes from the dim glow as you put the light out. Then it hisses a wet, clicking exhale. Others turn, eyes catching the faint orange glint reflecting from, scratch that line, you already put it out. And then across the cavern, a long, slow creak of vine and wood echoes as something vast begins to stir above. The Witherbind has noticed. And then just as suddenly, a vine snaps from the ceiling like a striking serpent. It coils once around the shaman's body and lifts him, screaming, into the dark. The others scatter like crows from a fire, leaving only the echoes of clicks and the pulsing of roots behind. What do you do?
The wither blood. What is it tethered by as it dangles from the ceiling? The vines? The corded vines?
Yeah, these are like entire vine root systems that combine into the trunk of the tree that's hanging upside down and then spread out like branches.
You too good with holding it off while Ashton studies it?
Fuck no.
Of course. Sure. Different.
So it is it descending?
No, it's not moving.
Okay, it's just
Kind
notice
of.
us.
It kind of shakes or writhes or, but it's not like descending. It's not physically moving from one place to another. It may shimmy or, you know how trees sometimes can do stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen it strike out, so I'm not too eager to run out there and give it a willing target.
But this is what we came here to deal with, so right.
Is there any insight you can give us on how to deal with it? Ashram?
Ashton says, I think the spell I've been using will work. It worked on all the others. If it doesn't, well, I'll think of something else.
How about for the rest of us?
Maya's our resident woodland person. Do we want to have her roll and see if she finds a weakness in it?
You can do that.
I'd kind of like to maybe wait for Mike to be here for the next part.
Okay, well then let me tell you the next thing that will happen. The Witherbind whips the Sablekin shaman across the cave. You can hear him screech as he flies, and he lands somewhere in the darkness, way off to your left. The tree more toward the center. Sablekin have scattered throughout the cave. But then over near where he landed, you hear kind of a chanting, a broken song, like three songs playing at the same time that don't go together. You hear these clicks and whistles and grunts, and it's kind of a herky jerky stomping sound that they don't stomp at the same time, or maybe they do and then they don't. And then you see the shaman, and he gets lit up. The shaman is actually lit up as you see him raise his little staff that he hung onto all the way across the cavern. He raises his staff, and you see him do some herky jerky broken gesture, right? And as he does so, the circle around which you see these Sablekin dancing, doing this weird, bizarre, broken dance. Country line dancing gone wrong. And in between, there begins to be this glow, and weird patterns begin to form with as if they were cracks in the rock between the Sablekin that have formed a circle. And so something is happening there. The shaman is summoning something. The Witherbind on the other end shudders again, and as if in challenge. You guys are a little bit up. You'll have to go down into the cavern where there's a lot of stalagmites and pools of gross gray water or other things, little pools of steam or lava or something. It gives the air its muggy feel. There's no other sources of light, though, aside from this faint lichen that gives the whole cave its dim glow. And with that, you'll need to decide what you're going to do about that for next week. Then,
Yeah, I agree with Asher in that we want the full party here for the consequences
Yeah.
of whatever happens.
Well, and I just think this is like a
it's an
might be
epic
good
battle.
for well, and some of the like the magical stuff going on seems like it could maybe be related to Maya's magic, and so I think it might be if we can wait to let give Mike a chance to be there for that.
Sure.
Yeah. It would be kind of rude to not include him in this.
I concur.
I'll deliver.
All right. So we will pick it up next time in the Grand Cavern. To our internet audience, thanks for watching tonight. We'll see you next week.
Awesome game,
Hey.
guys.